Hello, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. My name is Ruby and this is another round of my TBR game, tic-tac-TBR. I know that there's a small cut on my lip. I got head-butted by the dog by accident just a few minutes before I sat down to film this. It is what it is. The show must go on. So for anyone new to my channel or to this series, this is a TBR game that I made. I did not invent TBR games at all. I will link some of my favorites down below of other really creative booktubers who have made up games that help them choose what books they're going to read every month. For my game, I just randomly select 9 different prompts and I put those into a tic-tac-toe board, and then I try to read books that will fulfill the prompts that will give me 3 in a row. And then for every 3 in a row, I get a prize. That's it. It's pretty open-ended because I don't like to nail down a list of books for the month. I find that doesn't work well for me. And I also have created a spreadsheet that you can use that's just like the one that I'm using. It's linked down below. You can just save it to your own Google Drive and then play this game too. Amazing. First, let's talk about what was last month? April. Let's talk about how I did in April. The prompts for April were GNC author, a beautiful cover, a book from my 30 by 30 list, a mystery, a TBR vet, so a book that was on my TBR list for more than a year, a book that takes place on another continent, an urban setting, a book that is very historical fiction from before the year 1600, and a 3-star book. So, from the top, I guess. First, I read Aisha at Last, which takes place in Toronto, Canada, so that's an urban setting. Then I read Mirrorland, which is a mystery thriller. Then I read Royal Assassin, and I gave that 3 stars. Then I finished Braiding Sweetgrass, and that was on my 30 by 30 list. And then I finished The Book of Longings, which takes place in the year like 16 to 60. So very historical. Then I read The Echo Wife, which is by a non-binary author. And then I read House of Leaves, which has been on my TBR since college. Definitely a TBR vet. And then I read Mastermind, which takes place a little bit in Asia, a little bit in South America, a little bit in Africa, and like a little bit in the US too, but it was mostly another continent. Okay, and then just a couple days ago, I finished What's Mine and Yours, which has a stunning cover. So that's all of them. And I've actually never even considered what happens if I read all of them. I never thought that would actually happen. And I actually didn't even use my freebie. My double up freebie. So I think I was brainstorming a little bit with Connor because I was like, oh God, I did them all. I didn't plan for this. So if you have any ideas about what a good reward would be for like did them all, that's not like buy a bunch of books, I would love to know like what's something fun that I could do. But for now, it's gonna be buy some books. I talked to Connor a little about it and we were like, oh, it'd be really fun to like go to a bookstore and Connor's gonna buy me 2 books as a reward. And really the reward will simply be going to the bookstore because I have not been in a bookstore to like browse around in well over a year. So I can't wait for that. I can't believe this game was not supposed to work like that. Like I was never supposed to get more than 2 or 3. But here we are. And I'm gonna carry over my double up freebie. So that is I have that reward for this month as well, because I didn't use it. But I think if I don't use it this month, then I have to get rid of it. Like you only get one extra month. So that's April. Amazing. And I did, I think out of those 9 books, 2 of them were ebooks, 2 of them were audiobooks, and then 5 of them were books that I owned. So that's great, because I had said maybe in April I'll only read books I own. I didn't only read books that I had a copy of, but I mostly did, so that's good. Okay, so I did add a couple more prompts just for fun. So now there's 115. I'm not going to tell you what they are. I don't think I've ever gone through all the prompts, and I don't think I will be. We're just both going to be surprised every time. So I have my random number thingy ready to go. So let's go. Let's do May. Wow, we're getting a lot of deets right now. Like, what's all this? Anyway, 41, great. Let's change this. 41. Repeat author. So that's a book by an author that I have read before, which is good because I actually I just started an audiobook that is the next book in a series by N.K. Jemisin that I'm reading. So that's good because I've read from her already, obviously, the other parts of the series. So done. Next. I feel like it always starts out with me being like, got this in the bag, and then it's like I read not all of them, usually. Okay. 50. Booktuber fave. Like, have we had this one a million times? This is a book that is the favorite book of a booktuber, either a book that they talk about all the time or a book that was maybe in a favorites video. So maybe I could find some of those and watch them. And I can't think of anything that's super hyped right now or that I'm hearing a lot about that I'm desperate to read. So maybe I'm going to be revisiting some 2020 favorites videos, although actually I do want to be reading The Vanishing Half very soon, and I know that was on a couple of favorites lists. Not that it's like necessarily like a booktube fave, but just like a fave in general. We'll see. Next, 100. I mean, oh my god, are these even random? Cyberpunk. Oh. That's funny. I've read one cyberpunk book. It's a Neil Shusterman. What is it called? Like Snow Crasher? Not Snowpiercer. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, cyberpunk is simply not a genre that I am familiar with or extremely interested in. So it's pretty interesting that I chose to make this a prompt. But I did. So drop your favorite cyberpunks down below. Unlikely, but maybe. 45. Okay. Book of the month. That's Book of the Month book. Yay. I do have a book of the month subscription, and I'm really excited for the May book. I picked it right away. I had been so excited to read it. I entered a bunch of giveaways on it on Goodreads. Like, I kept re-entering every time they made another one because I was like, give me that book. So we'll see. But I do also have one book of the month that I've gotten via my subscription that I haven't read, and I actually have 3 other book of the month books that I've gotten from free little libraries. So unsure if that'll count. Depends on whether or not I read one of them. 56. From a series. Amazing. That is obvious. So I could read either the next, it's the Broken Earth trilogy. So whatever the second one in that series is, I'm reading that. So that could double up, repeat author from a series, or I could read the next, I'm sorry, the birds are on one right now. I could read the next Farseer book. I don't know what the third one is called, but I could read that. I feel like those are the only series that I'm like involved in at this time. Oh, I could read the next. No, I'm not going to. I was gonna say the next Hercule Poirot. In 2020, like early 2020, I was like, maybe I'll try to read all 47 Hercule Poirot novels by Agatha Christie this year, and then that absolutely did not happen, but I did read like 8 of them, I think, so I could read the next one, but I probably won't. Unless someone will tell me right now that Lord Edgware Dies is a fantastic book, because that's the one that I'm on. Anyway, 59. These are book with Flora on cover. Oh my gosh. Wow. I love that. Let me think. Okay, I'm actually looking at my Goodreads. And a book that I recently put on here is 50 Words for Rain by Asha Lemy. Aisha. And it has a tree on the cover. So that's cool. But then I also have a book that I've kind of been meaning to read for work, which is called Nature's Best Hope by Doug Tallamy. It has a bird. That's fauna. That's not flora. Never mind. Nothing is like in the front of my brain right now, but I'm sure there's something. There's probably something on my bookshelf, but yeah, this seems like something that will just happen and not something that I will plan for. That's what I'm telling myself. If somebody can recommend me a cyberpunk with Flora on the cover, that's even better. That would be hilarious if I doubled up cyberpunk and Flora. It just seems so incongruous. Okay, next, 110. Series continued. Wait. Excuse me. That seems like that's my error for having doubled prompts up, obviously. So maybe I should get rid of one of those and pick a new prompt. That's what I'm gonna do, because there are some that are doubled in here, but it's just genres. Like there's a few genres that are in there twice because they're really big, and maybe I honestly should just get rid of them because we see them again. It's just like there's so many prompts and we've gotten a couple of them more than once. So it's like, yeah, I'm gonna pick another one. Sorry. And I'm gonna change that. Rural setting. Oh, so the opposite of, in this same score last month we had urban setting, and this month we have rural setting, so that's great. And I think my book of the month book might be rural setting. I mean, I don't know. Actually, there is another book that I've been not wanting to read, but I'm intending to read for a video, and I think that it is very much like rural. So there's options. I could also read, I think I could read No Exit, because I have that, and I think it takes place at like a gas station in the middle of nowhere. That's rural, right? Even though like the vibe isn't rural, like the actual setting is. So somebody who's read that, tell me that I'm right. Thank you. Okay, next for real, 83. DNF Redemption. Why are we getting doubles? How random is this true random number generator? I don't buy it. DNF Redemption is a book that I have at one point not finished. I did not finish it, and now I'm going to try it again. And there are a couple of books that I have on my shelf that I started and I didn't finish, mostly because they're dense and or upsetting. So not what I want. Oh my god, rural setting. I have to read Persuasion for Down Memory Jane. That's definitely gonna be rural, right? Anyway, DNF Redemption, we'll see about that. We'll see about that. I don't like it. 81. Okay. TBR vet. More than a year. Again. Annoying. Should I try a different random number generator next time? Like, is this one wronging me so deeply? There's so many prompts. And I'm keeping track of the ones that we get over and over. I've color coded it, okay? Whatever. TBR vet. I did, what was last month? April. I read the oldest book on my Goodreads TBR. Like, that was the oldest book that I had added to that list. And I kind of liked that. So maybe this month I'll read the new oldest one on there. That could be fun. Okay, yeah, so that's it. Okay, so yeah, I mean, not great, honestly, just like not great gameplay, but I'm sure that I will still get to read some great books. I do have Persuasion that I'm definitely gonna read. I'm also definitely gonna read my book club book, which is the same as last month. It got pushed because we were busy. So I have those two that I'm definitely gonna read. I do have my eyes on a couple of YouTube book clubs just to see if I'm interested, but no pressure, no pressure. About my reward. Now, if you're not seeing B-roll from a bookstore right now, that means that it's gonna be in the Persuasion vlog, because I think Persuasion is not that long of a book, so it might not be that long of a vlog. So to add some spice, we're gonna do the book shopping in that. So keep an eye out for that video, and once it's up, maybe I'll remember to come back and link it to this one. Yeah, not in this video, so sorry. But please, please, if you have any ideas about a way that I could give myself a big reward that's not money-based, I just could not think of a dang thing. All right, well, thank you so much for watching, and watching me bend some of the rules and sharing in my triumph at beating my TBR game in a way that I honestly never expected myself to. So if you wanna see if I can do it again, hit that subscribe. But otherwise, yeah, I'll just see you back here next time for more of this.